want to go over a couple of things, and then we're going to talk about this rate hike. I know you got a ton of info over there. Check it out, guys, okay? Right now, as far as inventory on the market, it slipped even lower than it was last week and the week before, and that's kind of normal around this time of year, but it's still super low. Actually, I don't remember seeing it so low. We only have 2,861 single-family homes on the market. So that's 60% shy of where we should be. Which is good. It's good if you're a seller, right? Bad if you're a buyer, and bad if you're a seller that's a buyer, because now you don't want to list in order to go out and buy, and we're actually seeing this circle kind of happen. We've got quite a few clients out there looking, and there's just not much in the price range that they want to move on up to. So it's a vicious circle. But, we do have a lot of people that are actually coming on the market to list to take advantage of this. So I do believe that we're going to go back, and we should see, in January, 32, 33, 3,400 homes on the market, which is, going to be about half as much as we should have. But that's okay. That's fine. As far as pending houses, we've got just under 2,000 at 1,893 pending homes on the market right now. And in the past month, we've sold 900 homes, 896 homes sold here in Rhode Island in about 60 days on average at 96% of original list price. And the median home, $242,500. So that's not bad, guys. Those are pretty good numbers for the winter time. Okay. Now, Mike. Hey. So I know that obviously being on the morning show, the news show with Ron St. Pierre, I know you guys are always covering news. You're always covering the latest what's happening. And Wednesday, the Fed announced a rate hike of 1/4 point,
which was expected.
It's needed.
Yeah, it's actually been the first one in a very, very long time.
Second one in a decade. Think about that, guys. Second rate hike in a decade.
So a lot of people saying like the economy has been artificially inflated due to the rate being so low.
Yeah.
So a lot of questions people asking is, well, how does this rate hike affect me?
Sure.
So we've had some experts on during the course of the week who've actually kind of pinpointed certain things that will affect you with the rate hike going on. So some of the things that you buy at the stores, groceries, gas, other retail outlets, it could affect the prices because manufacturers and providers could raise the prices because money becomes a little harder to borrow with a rate hike, technically. Sure. So, I mean, you might see that. You might not. Also, wages could be affected a little bit because they usually raise the rate to help fight inflation. So that tends to slow the economy a little bit, which leads to fewer people being hired. And you have less leeway to demand like a wage increase, but you won't see that too much because they're going to the big thing for this upcoming administration is add jobs.
Yep.
So hopefully that'll happen.
I'm going to actually hold on. I'm going to interrupt you right there because you said commercially money might be harder to lend. But I know, and I'm not a specialist in commercial. But as far as residential, I actually sat down with a bank yesterday, and they were talking about how money is going to be easier to lend out as the rates go up because there's a bit of a less risk, more reward, and mortgages are going to get easier to obtain for people.
That's right. That's the residential end. Commercial end is a little different.
Yeah, and I know you're getting there.
Yep. Credit card rates, obviously, if you got a APR or an adjusting interest rate on that credit card.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, you might want to start paying it because they're talking about 3 additional interest rate hikes coming up in 2017 as well. So be prepared. The big ones, of course, everybody's looking at are mortgages. Now, the Fed rate hike has little influence on mortgages themselves, so which is a good thing, and that's what we talked about because they're going to be opening up different lines and. Which should be interesting.
Yeah, God. Again. Yeah, hopefully we don't see what we saw last time. I don't think so.
Now, home equity lines could get affected because HELOCs are linked to the prime rate.
Sure.
So when the Fed raises its target rate, HELOC rates will follow. So if you have a home equity line of credit and it's adjustable, you might see a little bump up in your monthly payment with that. So when it comes to the mortgage end, mortgages themselves, little effect. HELOCs, will be affected.
Yeah, and what kind of effect would it be on the mortgages? Let's just say if your mortgage went up 1/4 of a point. Okay, we did the math here on a $245,000 house. You're looking at a difference between about $34 per month. Okay, so $408 for the year, $12,240 over the course of 30 years. That's that's really not a huge deal. When it starts to become a bigger deal, Mike, I think for our listeners or for anybody that wants to buy is when you start seeing it about a point difference, okay? Right. Because now you're looking at $120, for extra for that same mortgage.
And I would probably say if they go forward with their plan on doing 3 additional rate increases in 2017, probably by this time next year, you'll see it up that full point.
Well, I agree, and I've been telling people that. I've been telling even other real estate agents, and they've argued with me, and they've said, not all of them. I mean, some of them agreed, but some of them were like, no, a good friend of mine, no way, we're not going to be at 5. Yes, we are. Yes,
it's going to happen.
It has to happen. It's going to happen. Rates, in the 80s, 14, 15%. I mean, it hopefully it doesn't go there, but I think that 5 is even a reasonable rate. 6 is okay.
And I'll tell you, when we had the boom earlier,
5 or 6,
5 was great.
Yeah,
people were killing for a 5. So, and I think it's also better for our economy. All in all,
it is.
If we are at around 5.
We have to start giving Americans incentives to save again, and we have to ease up on some of these lending guidelines that have suffocated a lot of people from being able to enter the market, okay?
And I got to tell you, it was good to take a look at my 401k and actually see a bump, because usually it's like they send me a bill.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to save for retirement. I'm getting a bill because, you're getting no yield on it. So it's nice to see an actual return. And CDs, of course, if you have CDs and savings, you'll see that reflected with the rate increase as well.
Of course. When the rates go up 1%, that buyer looking in that median range of, 240, 245, all right, they're going to have about $43,000 less buying power on a 30-year note.
That's a big one.
That's big, okay? That's big. And
that's a different city, different school district,
different neighborhood, all day. And, I mean, will this affect – I don't know that that's really going to negatively affect our housing market, because what's going to happen is you're going to have the buyers that could have bought up. Now they're kind of bumping down. The only thing it will affect, I think, is how picky they are when they're buying houses now. I think it might maybe slow things up a tiny bit, because you're going to see people kind of have to readjust and get used to what they can buy now.